Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and you're watching the Colonel Reduced for March 2018. How is it March already? The year is flying past at a heck of a rate, and it's making everybody nervous, including myself. Hello, welcome. There's a lot going on, and the camera's auto-focusing. Like if I push this, it should just stay locked on me and not get too clever with itself. But you never know. Anyway, yes, hello. Welcome to the Colonel Reduced for this month. Let's run through what we've been playing at. If you stop by Patreon on a regular basis, you may have noticed that there's been kind of a flurry of posts in the officer tier and the Colonel School tier, and this is part and parcel of me wanting to up the tempo a little bit with regards to what I do with Patreon, and I'll come on to a little bit more of that in a moment. I've gone off my script already. The script is quite busy, but I'm gonna rattle through it. I'm gonna try and hold you up for no more than 45 minutes, as is so often the case. Yeah, first item on the list. Hello. Right, good. We can probably run that one out now. Let's talk numbers very briefly. I'm all over the place. I apologise. Just because I've got quite a lot going on in here at the moment, and that should become clear relatively quickly. What's the stat situation? We got 750 new subscribers last month, and a dangle of new folk who've joined Bad Company. Welcome to the new people. You are the lifeblood of the channel. You help me striving and driving and motoring forwards. Thank you very much for your contribution, and the same goes for the rest of you as well. Obviously, thank you very much for your contributions. Why is it important? It's important at the moment, actually, because my career situation is in something of a flux. Not in a bad way, but in a potentially interesting kind of a way. For those of you who are relatively new, I've been in the games industry for 20 years, and I started out by doing big jobs for big companies, and then I moved to doing other jobs for companies, and then I moved on to doing work for an indie for a little while. Well, worked for a couple of indies. Then I consulted for 2 years. So I was a consultant to various companies on how they can better work with the gamers they have, and how they can work with YouTube and Twitch channels better. And that was why I started my channel, is I decided that actually it would benefit me to know what they had to go through to get there. I've said this a lot, so if this is new information to you, you're up to speed. Well done. But yeah, so after the last year that I've been working for a company again, I'm now back consulting, which is not really where I wanted to be. I mean, what I'd hoped for was to get just a good stable gig to develop both my video stuff to the point that I could go full time with it, alongside a game that I'm developing on my own, and being and consulting again has kind of put a spanner in those works a little bit. So I am in flux right now, is because I'm not quite at the point yet that I can afford to transition into full-time video. My estimate was that 2 to 3 years more, and I'd be there, unless of course I hit another massive spike. But you can't predict those. Well, yeah, you can work off your kind of month-to-month growth. So I mean, if I do reasonably well, if I kind of match the performance I did last year, I'll hit around 35,000 subscribers this year. Very nice indeed. But a long way short of where I need to be. If I manage to maintain the ratio between subscribers to Patreon backers and so forth, it's about the 150, 200,000 mark is where I need to be. So as you can see, it's a little way off. But the good thing is that as long as your quality, let's say your quality level is here, and that's your maximum audience appeal, right? Yeah? Okay. So your maximum audience appeal is X. And at the moment, I'm here somewhere, right? So I don't know what X is. I suspect it's probably about 250,000. I'm not going to appeal to everybody. I don't have some lofty notion that someday I'll have 10 million followers or anything ridiculous like that. That's not going to happen. I'm not mainstream enough. I appeal to a certain type of person who likes the slightly more harebrained approach that I bring to the party, and that's fine. That's good. I mean, I could pivot towards being more commercial, but to be honest, it doesn't interest me. I like being myself. I like just playing the stuff the way that I like playing it. So yeah, so my appeal level is like here, which is, let's say that's 250,000, and I'm down here somewhere, and I'll get faster and faster. Simply due to the way that YouTube works, and we're going through how YouTube works in kernel school this month. It's a good one. Understanding the way that the algorithm works is really quite helpful, and I've pieced this together from my own observations and from a whole bunch of stuff that I've read on the subject, and I've got a really good understanding of how it works. Do I apply that understanding to all my videos? Of course I don't. I'm far too lackluster for that. I do it a bit, but only to about 60% of where I should be doing it. It's a combination of time and enthusiasm for doing the big important stuff that can drive you forwards. So if I were to get my backside in gear and actually do some of the big important stuff, you never know, I might go a little bit faster. If I were to hit 50,000 subs this year, I would be over the flipping moon. That would be delightful. Beyond that is just completely unreasonable. Meanwhile, and as much as this is the Kernel Failure Patreon, I'm going to reference Stegs because I work with him a fair bit. He is geared up to do very, very nicely out of the launch of PixArk, if the marketing people at PixArk manage to position it so it gets an awful lot of coverage. If there's a lot of interest in that game, there's a high chance that Stegs overtakes me in the subscriber count relatively soon, because he is slightly more mass appeal than I am. We'll see. Either way, obviously I'm giving my opinion on what he should be doing, and he's following the strategy that I'm working up towards in kernel school. I'll explain exactly what he's done, but you should be able to see it for those of you who study such things. Kernel school is quite interesting. Whether or not you're building a channel of your own, it is quite interesting stuff in there. I'm not trying to upsell anybody, but it's actually quite entertaining to write as well. It's all written. There's no video yet. I'll convert it to video at some point, but I want to do a good job with that. And that will probably wait until after I'm sort of full time, or I've got dedicated hours set to video creation. Good stats. So yeah, picked up 750 subs last month. That's about normal, to be honest. Maybe a little above normal. I tried a week of brute forcing, which for those of you who don't really get what brute forcing is, that's putting out multiple videos per day. Now, the rationale behind this is you do sacrifice views on individual videos because people don't watch them all, whereas your loyalists will quite often watch everything you put out as long as they can keep pace with it. So you sacrifice views in exchange for hitting more people overall. So you might do, so I currently do, depending on the video I'm putting out, but let's say as a regular number, I do 3,000 views a day on a new video. You will do 2,000 views on 2 videos. So instead of 3,000, you'll do 4,000. Right? Okay. So you get a little bit of uplift. If you're covering new stuff, that can bring a whole bunch of new people into the channel. But my problem of late has been starting series that have no end in sight. And that's not a smart thing to do. You need to have recurring content in your core stuff in order to make it so that the people who subbed have got something to come back for, right? They're not going to be interested in, this week I'm playing something completely different. Excuse me, still got a bit of a cold thing going on. Yeah, so you've got to do what is known as fan service, except it's not fan service. It's giving people who subscribed the thing they subscribed for. You need to make sure you keep doing that. Otherwise, your views drop off, even though your subs might be looking quite healthy. You will convert some of those people over into watching any old nonsense that you put out, and that's where you chaps fall in. You're definitely in the will watch pretty much all the nonsense you put out. So you represent the the pinnacle, the goal, the tail end of where I want to get to as far as subscribers are concerned, because that level of freedom to go and put out any old rubbish. I don't mean the videos are rubbish. I mean, the games might be a little bit. That gives you the freedom to go do pretty much whatever you like. So yes, the subscriber numbers going up. Maybe not as quickly as I'd like, but I'm still searching for this year's game. Where is it? What is it? What am I getting my teeth into? And I'll go through game stuff in a moment. Views-wise, views are all very buoyant, about 300,000 to 350,000 views in the last month. Very nice, can't complain with that at all. I'm hitting I bubble around the 10,000 views a day mark at the moment, and that's brilliant. As you can tell, that's the split between new stuff and old stuff. Old stuff carries quite a lot of the traffic. So there you go. So that's stats. Now, directly related to stats, of course, is the fact that I am still unmonetized at the moment. There are no ads showing on my channel apart from where I have infringed people's copyrights. And that's deeply frustrating. At a point where I'm going like, ooh, should I maybe take the plunge? I can afford to not match my salary for a few months, as long as the number is building dramatically. And to be adless at the moment is just, the timing couldn't be worse. But then you see, I think that's the universe just kind of going, you're not ready yet. You need something else. Go and do that. I'm not giving you your ad revenue until you've managed to get your day-to-day sorted out properly. So yeah, there's that to figure out as well. Where was I going with this? Yeah, so basically I left the MCN, multi-channel network, that I'd been with. So I was with Broadband TV, who were my ad partner. I was with them for 2 years. They're okay, but if you're doing more than, let's put a number on it. If you're doing more than like 1,500, 2,000 views a day, they're not worth. It's not worth having an MCM. Unless they're bringing something major to the party, because the amount of your ad revenue they will take outstrips the amount that you'd pay for the services that you take from them. So it's honestly, it's not worth sticking with. So I left my MCN at exactly the wrong time, because it was when YouTube were changing up their subscriber rules. So I joined the queue alongside everybody else who is now waiting to be vetted to have ads on their channel, despite the fact that I've had ads on my channel for ages. C'est la vie. Apparently they can figure out using a machine whether your content is family friendly, but they can't figure out using a machine whether you've got more than a certain number of minutes viewed and a certain number of subscribers, despite the fact it tells you on the application page how many minutes viewed you've got and how many subscribers. So they're obviously eyeballing it to make sure there's no nefarious folk coming in doing bad things. But I'm in that queue. So during January they said, oh, it should be done by the end of January. Went back at the start of February. They said, oh, it'll be done by the end of February. So I went back yesterday and went, come on, people. If you're going to give someone an estimate of when something's going to be done, be accurate, right? If you give a vague answer, good. But don't put a date on it. Never. This is rule 1. So, never give dates. You can say soon, or as soon as possible, as quickly as we can. But if you say end of Feb, I'm going to turn up on the last day of February and go, come on then, where is it? What do you keep me hanging around for here? So it's a bit frustrating, but the system is the system is the system is the system, and therefore there's not a lot I can do about that. Right, let's move on. Now, if you have been hanging around Patreon, you will notice that there have been several brand-oriented posts go up for those who are in the Officers Club. And over the last month, I've been working on a redevelopment of my logo. I like the existing Faildozer, but it's never been 100%. Yes, that's a winner. The original one I liked, but the problem with it was that it was based off a piece of stock footage, and therefore other people could use it, and I could never fully own the copyright on it. So I got the Faildozer commissioned, and it's good. it's good, but it's not. We're not in our final form yet, people. So I've had a new one commissioned, and basically with Officers Club, I've been kind of showing the work in progress that's going on there and getting a bit of feedback and tweaking accordingly, and it's now ready. Whew, very exciting. And it's not ready to go, but I've got the final image done. I've also got the final image done for Fail Brigade. Right. Now, Fail Brigade is a little bit more complicated. You chaps will still be known as Bad Company, but Fail Brigade is something a little bit bigger, and I'm going to talk about that next time, because the reason I'm doing it next time is because I'm hoping that I'll have got everything done that I've got queued up to do this month, and I'm going to rattle through my list of things to do. Right, this is going to seem like just a list of random nonsense, but here we go. So for the video template, we need the new opener logo reveal, which is the bouncy ball in the bottom corner that comes up and goes down in the first 30 seconds. Need a new one of those. I don't really want to use the same one that I've got right now. I need to do a better one. And I also need the new end screen. So the end screen that I've got right now, I'm not changing the music. Music's great. It's been with me for ages now, so I'm keeping it. But instead of what it does right now, which is 2 videos and the subscribe button, and that's your lot, it's going to do 4 videos instead. Or rather, it's going to do 2 to 3 videos and then a Bad Company link and maybe a merch link or something else. I'm also working on a concept where at the end of every episode you get me on the camera going, hey, so that's the show, everybody. Why don't you come and tune in next time and it'll all be great. Or something along those lines. Comedy accents, obviously, optional. So yes, I need to work up a new end screen for the video template. Now, the YouTube header, I need to do a new about page. I need to do a new description template. If you look at the descriptions on 2 or 3 of the videos, you'll see that after my first kind of 2-line bit about what the episode's about, there's a whole slew of stuff that's just repeated everywhere. And it's links out to things and all that kind of stuff. But I can do, I've used that one now for at least 18 months, so it needs updating. New channel tags, got to do all of that, and a trailer for the channel as well. At this point, this is audience participation. If there is a clip from a video that I have made in the past you think would be great in a trailer, let me know what it is. I can download anything that I've done previously off YouTube and take it from that. But if there is a clip that you think is very good at summarising, you know, what Colonel Failure nonsense is all about, let me know. I'll obviously include a bit of the co-op stuff that I do with Stegs in there as well. Right, then moving on to Twitch. I need a new Twitch header. I need to sort out all of the descriptions and the buttons and stuff like that below. That all needs updating. That's all still using Generation 1 Bulldozer. We're now on to Generation 3. Ridiculous. I've got to redo the fish tank, which is a big job, but I want to do a better job than the one that I've done so far. The new version is great, but could be better. So I'm going to redo that. The transition animation, which is when I push the button and the thing goes... Going to need to do a new version of that, and then stream notifications and overlays with sound. So at the moment, if someone sends a donation or they subscribe or any other thing, the little notification pops up on the screen, I'm going to try and go like, "Boo! Steve has sent you $5,000." Steve's never done that. Screw you, Steve. But yeah, I want to do a custom animation for that, and I want to do some custom sounds, and I want to do something that is funny and lighthearted and in keeping with the standard jazz. Then we get on the Patreon. I need to redo the header. I need to overhaul the description. The description's good. It's a nice piece of writing. I'm really pleased with it. But also, I want to do a new trailer for Patreon. I need to do a thank you video that people will receive after subscribing for the first time. My thank you message at the moment is rubbish. Always has been. You've all seen it, and you've probably forgotten it because it's that bad. So I'll show you the new one. You can have one grand unveiling of the new thank you video, and hopefully it will be pithy. You never know. And 0 hour. We've passed the point at which I'll start doing 0 hour, which is going to be the what's coming up on the channel there, kids. That too I need to work on. I need a quick format for that, and it could just be a 30-second or something like that I stick out on a Monday. But that's the aim, and I'll get that done. Next, moving on to merchandise. So I need to do a new header for that, and the next generation of merch. Baseball caps, they're coming. They're coming. I want to find somewhere that will do a good job with it, and I'm going to give them away. I'll flog them, obviously, because I'm not a mug. But I plan on doing a competition every month where someone within Bad Company can win themselves a Captastic. Maybe I'll extend it out and we'll do a giveaway for Bad Company and a giveaway for random people. But competitions are coming, and it's going to be merch-oriented competitions. I'm not going to give away games and stuff like that. Next up then, Fail Brigade. I'm not going to talk about that. There's a lot of stuff I need to do with that. And then, of course, the regular channel headers for like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and Steam. Instagram, I'm going to start ramping up. Haven't started doing it yet, but my aim will be that I do a little 30-second to a minute. Hello, everybody. Just before I start recording. It will kind of be like just like a heads up of here's a video you're likely to see in the future. So it's just going to be, it'll be all vlog stuff. And I haven't decided on the format yet, and equally I haven't decided on the timing to get that right yet. So there you go. So there's a lot in there that I've got to establish, and I'm hoping to get all of that done in March so that I can launch it at the start of April, which will be great because that will be the anniversary of Patreon having launched in the first place. Just kind of ties up quite nicely. So there you go. So that's logo and brand type stuff, and that's all coming soon. Obviously, this means that if you did have your eye on a Generation 2 logo T-shirt, the window is closing on that. I'm not trying to flog them to you. I'm just letting you know. If you wanted one, they're going to disappear soon. When I do any kind of a live event thing, as I surely will in the future, where there is a running joke regarding FailCon that goes on in Discord. It will happen at some point, and hopefully I will do it in a transatlantic fashion as well. So I'll do some in the US and some in the UK. I could quite easily arrange it to live alongside like an Insomnia or a PAX or something along those lines. But make yourself available, and you can come and say hello, and we'll chew the fat for 10 seconds or some such. I don't know, but that's coming up, and anybody who is wearing an earlier generation piece of kit at that time will get special treatment. I have no idea what that means. But anyway, new generation stuff is coming on. I'm going to do mugs, I'm going to do t-shirts, I'm going to do hoodies. Haven't decided on anything else. Caps are going to come, but I'm going to order them separately, so they probably won't be on Spreadshirt, but I don't know. Watch this space. I'll give like 2 weeks notice before I'm pulling the old stuff, just in case anybody does want any of that stuff. Right, let's talk games. Railway Empire, I've killed it. Stuff it. I'm not interested. The game's just not interesting to me in the slightest. I had some fun with it, but nah, it's just a little bit too limited. It's very pretty, but it's just not. There is no boat being floated on that front, unfortunately. So as much as I said I'd try and get through the full game, I can't bring myself to do it. My enthusiasm level has dipped like a stone. Rise of Industry, on the other hand, still very much interested. I'll probably wait because I'd screwed up at the point that I was at. In terms of, I'd missed a bit of road. That was the problem we had there. There was nothing wrong with the game. But I'm going to wait until their next big update, and then I'll probably have a fresh crack at it. Because I haven't fully fully extracted the fun from it yet. There's a few odds and sods coming up that I'll probably give a look, but that's where we're at with those two. So City Skylines is now back. It is going to run probably Thursdays, probably Tuesdays, don't quite know yet. But it's definitely going to, it'll either be a 1 or 2 a week. I'd like to get in, done, out. That's where I'd quite like to be. Here's a big one for you, Transport Fever. I haven't got the bug yet for this series that I'm doing, and that's a bit concerning. I mean, it's inevitable because you know, you play enough of anything for an extended period of time, you will run out of juice for it. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but I haven't got the bug. I haven't got the bug where I desperately want to do the next one, and I've always had that in the past. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Who is that is constantly pinging me on Discord? Because someone is constantly... Oh, there we go. It's... yeah, it's Stex. Right, he's talking about his volcano. What was I talking about? Yeah, Transport Fever. But, you know, there's every chance that there's going to be something notable happening in Transport Fever this year, in which case that will re-energise the whole thing. Whether it's an expansion, whether it's a new game, the time is about right for them to have something new come out. And if you think back to Train Fever, around the time that they introduced their late patches, which were like Diamond Junctions and a bit of performance increase and stuff like that, that was about 3 months before they announced the new game. So you never know. Maybe there's a timing sync up there. Maybe there isn't. But we'll see. Right. Transport Fever is going nowhere for the moment. It's still going to do its nice Monday, Friday slot. That's good. It leaves me plenty of space to do other things. The Wednesday anything can happen slot, I'm loving that. That's great fun. It allows me to just pick up something new, do something madcap with it, and then press on. The next one I've got coming up, when I get round to it, I haven't even looked at the game yet, but the concept I've got in my head is so good that it could be great. Don't know. We'll see. Project Sports. Those of you who have heard rumours of Project Sports will know that Project Sports has been something I've been talking about since last year. I'm still talking about it. It's a very good concept, but it's a lot of work to get it done in the first instance. I will try and get something done, and I'll give a sneak preview in the Officers Club as soon as that's done. I can give no guarantees as to when that will be, but it is still on my to-do list. Ironically, if I was full-time, I could get the first one done in the space of a week, get the second one done in the space of a week, you know, but no, while I'm on limited time, there's not a lot I can do. And it's a massive amount of editing. That's why it's going to take a while to deliver on, because it is a huge amount of editing. Right, let's talk stream stuff for a moment, and I'm going to talk about Stellaris. So if you watched the Stellaris games that we played on Twitch, they are such good fun to play. The last one, there were 16 of us in there at the start of the game, immediately after the previous update. Maybe not quite as much fun as the previous one. So the previous game, where everybody was a rip-off science fiction group, but the game has definitely improved. And yeah, with the rip-off science fiction groups, the amount of role-play going on in there and the nonsense in Discord, it was just such a fun stream to do. The last one was you know, an easy stream to do, but the game, it wasn't quite as energized, and I think it's because everybody's waiting for the big bad to come along. But we're going to do the second part of that one. So rather than previously where we kind of go, well, that's the end of the game, this time we're going to pick up where we left off, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely catastrophic. So we're currently discussing what dates we might go for, and come and, if you're not on Discord already, it might not be a thing you've ever used, but the people within Bad Company are so friendly that if you just want to chat about games, or you want to chat about the video that you've seen today, could be mine, could be somebody else's. If you've got videos of your own you want to promote, we do all of that all the time and more. Plus, it's a great way to get stuck into when there is a multiplayer game happening. At time of talking, we have dedicated game channels for Elite Dangerous, Grand Theft Auto, and Spin Tires. Spin Tires is perhaps overdue being removed and replaced with whatever the next new hot thing is, but and Stellaris, obviously. But you know, there are people always looking for a game, and when everybody migrates, there is kind of like a migration into a game that everybody goes and dips in and out of. I would happily play with any member of the Bad Company Discord gang on just about anything. You know, they're all playing with a sense of fun, and And yeah, a fun bunch. I can't recommend it highly enough. There we go. That's Discord going on there. So yes, on the subject of streaming, I want to do more of it, but I don't want to do it instead of video. I want to do it as well as video. The other thing I don't want to do is stick out cut up bits of stream as a video. I think that's lazy. I think it's cheating. I think that the format is very, very different. It's a different experience as a viewer to have going, oh, hey Steve, how are you doing in the chat there today? Hey Jolene, how are you doing? Nice of you to pop by, all that kind of stuff. If you're there and in the moment, that's great. If you're watching it after the effect, it's not. That's not entertainment. So I want to do more streaming, and I want to make my stream channel dedicated to survival games, because there is a lot of grinding that goes into a survival game. You know, in order to record a standard kind of 25-30 minute episode, I'd probably have to play for about 2 hours at least, because not a lot happens in that time. And therefore, doing it on stream where you can talk to people and, you know, get recommendations and stuff happens and it all builds up and all that kind of thing, that it's better in a conversational area. And I might cut those then up and turn them into very heavily edited videos instead. But frankly, streaming is a good place to do it. So I'm looking into ways to make that happen, and it will probably be maybe once a week, maybe twice a week to start with, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Because with the aspiration to go full time, Twitch is a very good place to generate a bit more revenue. And I dislike talking about the money side of things here, but I always want you to know where my head is at and where I'm kind of pointing towards and where we're collectively going together. And that ties back to why am I doing more stuff with Bad Company, is because I need you guys, right? I need you guys to stick around and keep supporting me. And if I don't do stuff that you find engaging, then you're all going to clear off. And that's not helpful to me. So the more I can do for you, the more that you'll be likely to stick around. And, you know, never for a second think that it's not appreciated. But the onus is on me to keep you entertained. I'm going to do a little dance. Right, okay, so that's streaming and survival games and therefore. And therefore? Yeah, sure, why not? Right, so cities I've already talked about. Let's cover off, because then I can kind of bundle that up. Motorsport Manager. I'm going to do one more episode up on the main channel that is the end of the series, and it's going to be a big fat advert for from here on in. It's going to be shown on Bad Company only. There you go, because not enough people watch it for it to be worth my time to stick out when I could be doing a video that would bring brand new people into the channel. And I know that people love it, which is why I'm not killing it. But at the same time, there's a balancing act there. So it's going to go out for anybody who backs the channel for $1 or more. And then once we've finished with Motorsport, that first series, we'll either do a supplemental series or I'll move on to another series of something that maybe doesn't perform quite as strongly, but does have value to the people that are regular viewers. So, I quite enjoy recording Motorsport because it's easy to record. It's just so straightforward because you just talk about what's going on. Occasional agonizing decisions, some made rightly, some made wrongly, and what am I currently looking at? It sends you a news item. Read out the news item. Respond to the news item. Click next. Oh, you're in the race now. Just talk about what's going on in the race. Talk about what a disappointment it is every single week. So, to be honest, I think that the majority of people watching it are in it for the soap opera rather than the gameplay. They're in it because there are so many named characters in that, many of whom are named after Bad Company folk, that you can bond with them. And I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't know that Hans 00 is just the enemy of all true believers. So that's I think that is at least part and parcel of why it's successful. So, you know, I like recording it, but it is quite time consuming, and nobody watches it. Well, I say nobody. Not enough people watch it. I need to be hitting 2,500 per video. Spin Tires doesn't do that. It gets close, gets real close, but it does better than Battlegrounds did. But when I brought Battlegrounds back for a one-off, it did really nicely because people had missed it. On which note, Farming Simulator, we won't be recording any more of it. After we recorded an hour and a half, 2 hours, and coming out at the end, we were both just kind of going, I was really low on material. I was so short on stuff to talk about there. It just, you know, the funny was ebbing out. And it's because it's like, it is a survival game, there is a lot of grind in Farming Sim. So it'll be a 2-3-parter maybe in total, and then we'll move on to something else. Chances are it's going to be a bit of Pixark. I like the looks of it. Steggs has gone nuts. But if he's promoting it and he is positioning himself to be Mr. Pixark, and therefore he could grow significantly out of the back of that, I'm going to ride on those coattails a little bit. And plus, it looks like it could be quite a lot of fun. And, you know already that I'm a huge kind of Minecraft fan. It's not something that I'm considering running on the channel, but Minecraft-esque, certainly am. Which is why I've been playing a lot of Eco. So Eco, for those of you who don't know, it's a survival game. I bloody love survival games, but I'm stuffed if I can make good videos out of them without it having taken me 4 hours to record it. Eco, for those of you who are unaware of it, it is a very good-looking but still blocky game. The premise is you've got 30 days before an asteroid is going to wipe out all life on the planet. Can you stop it? Now, you start off at sort of standard Minecraft-esque Stone Age times, and so it's like Minecraft with a tech tree, effectively. So you work your way up and develop technology, and maybe you can develop lasers that will shoot the thing down, which is good. But what I really like about it is just how involved all of the different professions are. So it's almost to Life is Feudal. So those of you who played the weekend, effectively, of Life is Feudal will know that those are some very involved professions going on there. Now, Eco doesn't quite take it to that degree, but it gets quite close. But then they've got a load of automation stuff. So you've got windmills and water mills and that sort of thing, and they, create power. You have you can build your own vehicles, and later on you're going to be able to build trains. Very exciting. So yes, I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be playing loads more of that. I'll get a multiplayer server up. I'll make it a Bad Company game as soon as I can. I've spoken to the developers to see if I can do a Foxhole style multi-buy, no dice. They couldn't go for that, but they do sell like a 4-pack or some such on their site. I mean, it's a part educational game as much as anything else. But wait for some videos to come out, see if you like the looks of it, and I invite you to join in. There will be a Bad Company server. That's it. I've gone through everything I was supposed to talk about. Okay, right. I'm going to show you something. Right, hang on. So this is what herself bought me for Valentine's Day. Right? Does she know me or what? That's terrific. That's good. You've seen this before. But see, look, this lives just back there. That's what Bird Dog sent me from from Steamtown, along with some New Hampshire maple syrup, which was jolly nice. That went on my pancakes very nicely indeed. Good. Right. What else? Anything else I want to talk about? I don't think so. Not at the moment. I was expecting that to take longer, but it hasn't. Anyway, I've been Colonel Failure. I'm open to suggestions as far as games are concerned. Right. Here are, I should say, the rules with regard to, am I going to cover this as a game? Rule number 1, it needs to look modern. Now, that's not because I'm a snob and I'll only play stuff that have got graphics that are, ooh, aren't they sexy? No, it's because viewers only go for graphics that are, ooh, aren't they sexy? I do this for the views. There are a ton of games out there I could be playing, but I have to pick and choose. I don't have anything on my radar at the moment that looks like it might float my boat that isn't a flipping survival game. Yeah, so has to look nice. That's number one. Secondly, I'm not going to do anything made by Wargaming, right? Not because I'm against it, but because that's not what this channel's about. So multiplayer stuff that is a MOBA or a Battleground or something along those lines. Unless I am multiplayering it with Stegs. Sea of Thieves. Stegs and I will be doing Sea of Thieves. Ali will be returning for that as well. We may attach a fourth crew member. So that's coming up. So Sea of Thieves will be mine and Stegs' next ridiculous, nonsensical adventure series. So yeah, you can look forward to that. Me and Stegs Pirates. Farm Manager is coming out the first week of March. I'll probably pick that up. That looks like it could be a giggle. What else? Give me people to talk to. Little critters, things doing stuff. If I can talk to them, I can always make it interesting. What else am I looking for? Management-y, survival-y, transport-y kind of games I'm all about. But fundamentally, I need to be thinking audience, right? So playing a random flipping obscure game is not going to do it. I'm not a preview review channel. People don't come to me to find out, ooh, what's hot and what's great. They come to me to watch stuff being done while I mutter over the top of it in a vaguely incoherent fashion, using and on a very frequent basis. So if you've got recommendations, by all means, fire them away. If you suggest a science fiction game, I'll go, it's a sci-fi game, dude. Very few people watch sci-fi games. That doesn't mean nobody watches them. It just means that they're not as popular as games in other genres. But I'm open to suggestions, and you might just land on something that I fancy covering. The Wednesday series of Anything Can Happen on a Wednesday, that's where Train Simulator will sit. I want to do at least one a month, but I'll probably end up doing one or two a month. I can't do it any more often than that because I try to comment 100% of the time, and on longer runs that can be challenging. But doing, passenger announcements and stuff like that, easy peasy, that's a lot of fun. But I only want to do a couple of those a month. But, if you've got an extreme sports game, I'll give it a look. But since it's going to be a one-off, I'd sooner not pay 30 quid for the privilege of doing so. I'll try my various channels to secure a freebie key, but that doesn't happen every single time. Right, I'm done. I'm just waffling now. And you're going to go, yeah, what else is new? That's all you ever do. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Colonel Failure. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. Tell your friends. Get them involved. I'll be back in April. It's not that far away. Yeah, I'll be back in April with the next thrilling instalment of me spinning slowly in a chair. And before then, there'll be various updates on Patreon throughout the month. Keep your eye open for those. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.